Extreme weather can cause unthinkable tragedy. For Whangarei Boys High School, that's the reality they woke up to this morning.
In breaking news, the body of a student missing near Whangarei has been found by police. 15 students and 2 adults from Whangarei Boys High School got into trouble at Abbey Caves when wild weather set in yesterday.
We've been here before, a school and community grieving a terrible loss.
It's not just the Elam school here in Auckland that's been plunged into mourning. Parents, teachers, a whole country shocked by the deaths of 6 16-year-olds and their teachers. It was here today, though, that our cameras caught scenes of anguish, some of it unbearable to watch or even broadcast.
The group, part of a larger school gathering, jumped into the water here. At the time, the water would have only been up to their ankles. But as they progressed further downstream and the gorge tightened, the water rose up well above their heads. Any chance of survival was slim.
One school principal has been through this before and knows just what the Whangarei community is facing right now.
Murray Burton has been principal of Elam Christian College for 21 years. Murray, what did you think when you heard that awful news this morning?
Oh, look, everything always floods back. I know exactly what the principal would be going through. I know firsthand, having walked with 7 families here at Elam, exactly what the family would be going through, and my thoughts are always first and foremost with that family. That's where our hearts and our hopes lie with them.
Murray, I just keep thinking about the other kids that were on that trip, the other people that were part of it. How do these survivors begin to cope?
Slowly and carefully. Once again, we must recognise that their sense of loss is huge at the moment. Not that they lost one of their friends, but that they survived. How did that happen? How did this all come about? And I think that they just need good whānau around them. There will be days when they go forward and there will be days when they go back. Routine is important, but just a listening ear, some activities to do, good food and company, and I'm sure they will come through this bit by bit, slowly.
I think a lot of Kiwis tonight are feeling angry, outraged, like they really want to blame someone for this tragedy happening. Do you understand that?
I totally get that. I absolutely do. And with 15 years ago, we didn't have social media so much in our faces. So now we have this deluge of opinions and thoughts. And look, people do need to get things off their chests. But I can just say that the anger and the outrage has to be processed well, so that we can get some healing and some outcomes further down the track.
This type of risky outdoor education, do we continue with it? How much value in it is there?
I made this point in the years after our tragedy that New Zealand, Aotearoa New Zealand is a beautiful place. It's an outdoorsy place. And the inclination would be, let's shut the doors, let's turn off the lights and let's not go to these places. I'm just saying, let's keep exploring the outdoors. Kids need to go on camps.
And if things like this do happen, things like your tragedy and this tragedy, they're felt by so many people, how do you start to sort of pick up the pieces?
Literally one day at a time. A true empathetic response would be, what if it was my family? What if it was my son or my daughter? And I know that those 7 families have navigated the worst of the worst and have come through remarkably strong, and I really admire them for that.
Well, Murray, thank you so much for your time tonight.
My pleasure. My privilege. Thank you, guys.
Kia ora, everyone. Welcome to the project. Look, Mark Richardson is here tonight. And making her project debut tonight is Becky Umbers. Becky. Really tough story, Mark. What's your take?
Yeah, I know, and I agree that there's a lot of anger around these things and sadness, but the key, I think, is don't assume anything, don't presume anything, just let the experts, let the people get to the bottom of this, let the healing happen naturally. And so glad to hear Murray, who's been through this before, saying, no, it's so important that our kids get out They explore New Zealand, they learn about New Zealand. I recently had a daughter who went to a camp, actually. One of the rules was no cell phones.
Oh, wow.
I think that was harder on me than her. Not having any contact with her and having to put my faith and trust in these people at one of these types of camps. So I learned more about, I learned more from that than I think she learned. You know?
Yeah.
Independence and risk are really important for teenagers. I guess the lesson is it's got to be risk that you understand and risk that you consent to. And something's gone wrong here. We don't quite know what yet.
Yeah, and you do forget that this, for a lot of kids who aren't like skiing in the winter and stuff, this is the only chance, school camps are the only chance they have to do things like this and push yourself and sort of learn all these things about yourself. So to take it all away would be a real shame.
Yeah, so hopefully there's not a big sort of adverse reaction to this awful, awful accident.